So the prescribed shares that I mentioned about prescribed shares and residual shares, right? So what are those fractions? We are going to see how these fractions differ. I have detailed examples for each of these, but just a brief guideline for you, that these are the fractions. Husbands can get these fractions, wives this, daughters this, father this. There are some situations where this change, but it is just from these fractions. And these are the 9 relatives that we find in Quran and Sunnah, what fractions that needs to be given. And if you notice, in this 9 fractions, there is no son mentioned here, right? Son is not mentioned here. Son is the most powerful relative when it comes to inheritance. And subhanAllah, if somebody has a son, it's becomes so simple calculation, because son, like, he blocks like almost everybody. He blocks, like, we'll see, out of the 18 relatives, he blocks like around 14 or 13 relatives. So it's very easy. But if you don't have a son, you don't have a father, and you don't have a brother, forget it. It's like very complicated. And if you have paternal brothers or maternal siblings, it's very complicated. But 90% of the cases or more, it's very simple, and that's what we're going to talk about. And before I proceed, again, all these shares and everything, I created a website. I talked about it last week as well. It's there, and based on all these rules from Quran and Sunnah, you can, I created that website, and anybody has any problem or want to solve that problem, anybody needs help, it's there. You can just enter who all relatives are alive, and it will automatically tell you in a table like who gets how much share. We'll talk about it later, inshallah, also how to do that. So yeah, let's start talking about this prescribed shares, these 9 relatives here that I mentioned. This is what we are going to cover today, inshallah. How these shares come into picture, how they need to be distributed. So let's talk, out of the 9, we'll take the first one, husband's share. How we need to give share to the husband. So again, I'm going to keep repeating this diagram in all shares distribution. So husband is here, right here, and there are just 2 possibilities for a husband. Husband either gets half of the whole share, if the wife died, that is, and a quarter. So in case of this, if the wife left children, then they get quarter, and if they don't have any children, then it's half. Okay, and notice that this does not necessarily mean the children of the husband. It can be children from the previous marriage of the sister, right? So this husband might be the second husband, so she might have children from the other husband, but that still qualifies here. If she had children from the previous marriage, the husband gets this one. So important thing here is that I'm going to talk about this confirmed share. It means that nobody can block husband. No matter how many 18 relatives died or they are still alive, husband will get the share. We'll see there are some relatives, they will completely block other relatives, right? For example, a son is there, he'll completely block grandson. There's no way he can get inheritance. And the son, as we mentioned, is so powerful that he can basically block everybody, your uncle, full brother, full sister. This whole chain gets blocked. And we'll see who can block when, at what situation. But husband, nobody can block. Confirmed share. We just have to see if this guy has children or not. The wife had children or not. Then we decide if it is half or it is quarter. Okay, that's simple enough. Let's look at the wife's share now. So very similar. It's just the half of what we discussed in the husband, right? So in this case, she gets a quarter or 1/8. Okay, husband got half here and 1/4. She just half the case. The same thing. We talk about children. This has to be children of the husband. Does not necessarily mean it's the children of this wife, particular wife. So what should we do if husband or who died left behind like 2 wives? How should we calculate? If they have 4 wives, does it mean that they take quarter and everything? So yeah, that's
divided by 4.
Yeah, quarter, everything. So like when we say a wife, it's like one category. It doesn't matter how many wives they have. Everybody shares in that. Okay. So if there are 4 wives, they share from within this 1/4. Okay, and the same thing with wife. Nobody can block a wife, no matter who is alive or who is dead. It's confirmed share. She will get either quarter or 1/8, no matter what. An interesting thing again, just to point out, husband and wife is getting, like 1:2 ratio here. Notice that husband has to take care of the children. Does wife has to take care of the children? Probably not, right? Because the children will be taken care by many other relatives. The wife might be having father, a brother, or another husband. So there are so many chains. But when it comes to husband, he has to take care of his family, his wife, his children, his parents, and if the parents are not there, maybe even brothers and sisters, get the sisters married, and even husband, they even have to pay what during marriage? Mahar, right? Does wife has any of those expenses? Nothing. So some scholars even say, like, what woman is getting, it's like actually more than what she deserves, but Islam is so merciful that they are getting more. And even if we look from that perspective, the Bible and all the previous religions, women were not given any share. Islam came into picture and they said, okay, now woman needs to be given, no matter if she's educated or not, no matter she is financially mature or not, you have to give her share. Doesn't matter. Okay. And by the way, if these shares, somebody are like, oh, it's all our money, doesn't matter who we give it to. No, that's a serious problem. These rules, these are commands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you just, sometimes people emotionally blackmail other people and say, I took care of my parents, I took care of all their expenses, I gave so much of medical bills for them, I should get more money. Islamically, there's no say for you that. You are not the one who decides what fraction it is. It is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's the reason why I'm bringing this topic here, because I have seen many people who have this kind of problem. They say that we will override what Quran is saying because we have a different situation. No. Whatever your situation is, when we use the word inheritance, it is a very, very strong word. We don't talk about some benefits or some losses that you had. It's fixed, and if somebody doesn't follow these rules, it is a sin. It is haram money if they divide it unequally, and they will be answerable on the day of judgment, and they might even have to give back the money in the form of their good rewards to the person who they took it from. So it's a very serious matter, money matter. So if you're getting more, you can also even say that I don't deserve this. Give it to someone who, you have to be proactive, and you can't be like, oh, it's money, I don't really care about money, I only care about Allah. No, this is worship. If you follow Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's rule, that comes under worship of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So, okay, so we covered husband, we covered wife. Let's talk about daughter. So, daughter can get prescribed share. Under certain situations she can get residual share. You remember now what we said? Prescribed share and residual share in the diagram that we discussed before. So what is the prescribed share for the daughter? She gets half if there's just one daughter, and she gets 2/3 in case of multiple daughters. Looks big numbers, right? But the condition here, that's right, the condition here is that son is not there. If the son is there, does she get money? Yes. She gets money, but she is not from the prescribed share. And I want you to understand that the prescribed share doesn't mean that you get more money. Sometimes you get more money in the residual share. Okay, so these fractions, even though it comes from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as a prescribed share, sometimes daughter can get more in the residual share, as we will see some examples. If you are blocked by somebody, it doesn't mean that you get less. Sometimes you can get more. So this is important thing. If you have a son, they take from residual share and they share it in the ratio 2:1 with the daughter, and we'll talk about residual shares in more detail later on. And this is a confirmed share, cannot be blocked. So a daughter, remember, notice here I put this in green color, right? These 5 relatives. Why did I put here in green color? These are the relatives, nobody can block them. Nobody. No matter these people are alive or not, nobody can block them. They are confirmed to get some share. Grandfather, there is no guarantee. This father, basically, we will see the rules, but the one who is closer to the deceased can block the one who is away from the deceased. So grandfather, grandmother are away. So father, basically, in this chain, he blocks the one above him. And same thing with this one. Son can block grandson and granddaughter. Full brother can block nephews and nephews. And so the more closer you are to the deceased, you can block the one who are below you. Okay, that's the rule that we need to remember. And who is close to the deceased, the cousin or the uncle? Uncle is closer. If you see, just follow the links here. 1, 2, 3, 4, right? But 1, 2, 3. Uncle is lesser, right? So uncle is more closer. So can a cousin block uncle, or can uncle block a cousin? Uncle will block. So if uncle is alive, cousin will get nothing, and cousin's son, no chance, of course. So that's something that we need to remember. Who blocks who? So daughter's share is clear, right? So she gets half if she's just by herself, or she can get 2/3 if there are case of multiple daughters. So if there are like 10 daughters, how much does each get?
Combined.
So all of them share from 2/3. So 2 by 30th, whatever, right? So everybody, so daughter is again one category. It's not like each of them gets the share. It's like complete category. Father. Father again is very, very powerful person when it comes to inheritance. Calculation becomes very easy because father.
Are you coming back to son and daughter?
Yeah. We're going to talk about it. Residual share is a big topic. Today I'm only going to talk about residual share, prescribed shares, the shares which are coming from Quran and Sunnah, fixed numbers, right? Father, he gets 1/6 share if the children are there, right? That's a condition. But he can get more. He's very powerful because he can not only get the prescribed share but also the residual share. So after calculating everything, if there's still some money left, father can get even that money, as we will see. And this is again is in green color, so basically it means it's a confirmed share. Nobody can block father. And this is the power of the father. He can block grandfather, grandmother, brothers and sisters. That's the important thing. So now you see how easy it becomes to calculate inheritance. Nephews and their sons. Can father block uncle? Yes, father can block uncle as well. Can father block the grandmother of this one, mother's mother? No, she can, because he can block it. That's amazing. We will see this. Mother can block this grandmother, but a father cannot block this grandmother. That's interesting. So anyways, I just want you to know here that if father or a son is alive, subhanAllah, it's like out of these 18 relatives or so, it's like very simple. You just have to consider 6 or 7. All right? Mother's share. Very similar. She can get 1/3, but if the deceased person has children, it gets reduced to 1/6. Why it gets reduced now? Because son is more powerful, right? So you have to lessen it. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala himself says in Surah An-Nisa, that verse, one of the 3 verses, that this condition, if they have children or if multiple siblings, not one. If the deceased doesn't have any children but has just one sister, for example, she will still get 1/3. But if they have 2 sisters or 1 brother, 1 sister, she gets reduced to 1/6. So the word here, multiple, is what is the key. Okay. Again, you don't have to memorize all these numbers. I'm just giving you all these numbers to give you an idea. So you will have a picture now. Okay, this person will block that person. So it's easy for you to remember. Fractions are always there. You can just have one piece of paper and it's all there. But you should know which conditions will make the reduction of these fractions. Okay. Again, mother, she cannot be blocked at all. It's a confirmed share. It's green color. And this is the part I really like. Mother can block. She's very powerful in the sense she can block both the grandmother, from this one and grandmother from this one. Okay? Can she block grandfather? No. She can block grandfather. So, but father, he can only block his mother. He cannot block mother's mother. Okay? That's one thing you should remember. Okay. Granddaughter. So we're talking about the one in the bottom one here. So when we say granddaughter, it's always son's daughter. Okay? If you notice in this diagram, there is no daughter's daughter. Okay? Daughter's daughter cannot get any money from inheritance. So it's almost the same as what we discussed about the daughter. She'll get half. There is one granddaughter. And if there are multiple granddaughters, they share from the 2/3. And this is interesting here. If there is just one daughter, right? One daughter, and there's just one granddaughter, what do we do? So this is what we call the 2/3 zone, right? The 2/3 zone. So the sisters, daughters, or the granddaughters, they all come under that 2/3 circle in the absence of sons, brothers, and grandsons. So that 2/3 number you should remember. It's a special fraction in inheritance. So this 2/3, they can come out of this 2/3 under certain situations. But now here, if you just have one daughter, how much does a daughter get if there's just one? Half, right? So, but now we don't have another daughter, we have a granddaughter, one granddaughter. She needs to get from the 2/3, right? She needs to get from the 2/3. So half plus 1/6 makes 2/3, right? So that's how that 1/6 comes. So this condition you have to remember, that these fractions apply only when absence of multiple daughters and absence of a son. I said before, son will block grandson and granddaughter because son is on the upper level here. Okay, son, if son is alive, there's no share for these people. And absence of multiple daughters. If we have two daughters, right? How much do they get? Two daughters? 2/3. So 2/3 is full now. Is there anything remaining for granddaughter? Nothing remaining, so she is out. So two daughters basically can block a granddaughter. That's what it means. Okay. Can a daughter block grandson? She cannot block because 2/3 is only for sisters, right? It's not for men. So there might be some leftover money in the remaining 1/3, right? So a daughter cannot block grandson. Again, these rules, if you are getting scared, don't worry. It's just to give you an idea. It's I mean, sometimes even I forget. I have to keep referring to these. So that's why I made this calculator. Whenever I have a doubt or a problem, I just go and put some numbers, and it's all there, boom, for me. All right, grandfather. Grandfather's share. So grandfather is not that powerful as the father. Okay. He still is powerful, but not like father. Father like blocks everybody here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All these 10 relatives are blocked by father. But grandfather, he is strong in the sense that he still gets some share. 1/6 prescribed share is there for him. So as we said, if father is alive, then you get nothing here. Okay. Grandfather gets nothing because father completely blocks the grandfather. But grandfather, he can block nephews and his sons. So these people can get blocked, these two. Okay? All right. Grandmother. Grandmother. So when we say grandmother, it basically is referring to this grandmother and also this grandmother from the father's side and from the mother's side. Okay? And this is again 1/6. All right? Again, there are a lot of 1/6, so don't get confused. It's okay if you don't want to remember the numbers, but just remember that grandmothers is like one category. All right? So you can only, how many grandmothers can you have? How many grandmothers can you have? In terms of inheritance, yeah, you're right. In terms of inheritance, you can only have 2. Wait, how is it 8 again? Can you say? How is it? How is it? No, see, okay, one thing I have to make it clear. I have to make it clear here that father's father's second wife, right? She doesn't get any money. Okay, I put here the links here. You see, this deceased is coming from one father and one mother, right? A person can only have one father and one mother. Okay, cannot. It's not possible, all right, to have multiple fathers and multiple mothers. So, stepfather and stepmother, they do not get any inheritance at all. Okay, let me make that clear. You have to be actual biological father or mother to get inheritance.
It's going to be a joke if you give a stepmother and stepfather.
Subhanallah, yeah. So there is only 4 combinations, not 8, when it comes to grandfather, grandmother, grandfather, and grandmother. And there are just 2 grandmothers that is possible in this whole inheritance hierarchy. And when we say 1/6, they share from this 1/6. These 2 grandmothers share from this 1/6. Okay.
Yummy.
And the conditions. This one thing again, this mother, she can block, she is powerful in the sense she can block both the grandmothers, okay? And this father, he can block these 2. Again, maternal grandmother cannot be blocked. Maternal grandmother cannot be blocked by the father, okay? This is what you have to remember. And this is the last one I have, 9 prescribed shares, right? This is the last one. Very simple. Sister's share is very simple. Again, you have to remember the 2/3 zone, the 2/3 inheritance, the circle. This only for daughters or the sisters or the granddaughters. And it's very simple for sister. If there's just one sister, she gets half. And if there are multiple sisters, they share from the 2/3. Okay? But there are conditions. It's not always applies. So there should be no daughter or granddaughter present, basically meaning daughter and a granddaughter can block the sister completely, okay, if they both are alive. And absence of a brother. Absence of a brother, basically it means it is still possible for a sister to get a share, but not from the 2/3. She is kicked out of that 2/3 zone because of the presence of the brother. They will get residual share. Sisters can get even more than what she would get here, but that's a residual share that we talked about. If she comes out of that 2/3 zone, she can get even from that residual share, which is sometimes more and sometimes less. We will see with the examples. And this one, absence of father and grandfather. So a father can block sister. Same thing applies for the brother. If father is alive, as I said, father is a powerful man. He can block many people, full brother and full sister. But the grandfather's case is different in the sense she can still receive from the residual shares, but she's no longer part of the 2/3 circle that I talked about. Okay? So, let's...
Father of the deceased can be blocking the sister and brothers of the deceased.
Sorry, say it again.
A father of the deceased, the guy who died,
Father
can
of...
block the brothers and the sister of
Yes.
the deceased.
Yes, so when I put all these relationships here, right, everything is from the perspective of the deceased person, okay? So sister is sister of the deceased and the grandfather, that's why I put five levels here, right?
Diseased person is the main focus.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about the father. He can block the deceased brothers and sisters.
That's right, yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Father is a powerful man, son is a powerful man. These 2 people, you just look at it. If father and son are present, who all they block? They block 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 relatives get blocked. Basically everything which is white in color, they get blocked. But if you have just son, not father, then probably these people are still eligible, right?